Good morning, folks. And first of all, apologies. Your message from Mull is a little bit later than billed. Let's just say this morning, bad light, bad production crew, which is me, and seriously, lots of seagulls giving me dogs abuse. The moral of the story is never try to film close to a seabird colony who are thinking about nesting. Anyway, I should know better. But today's talk, today's message from Mull is on stretching and follows on from what we talked about yesterday in terms of escaping the pain. So we know now that movement is really good for trying to keep our joints subtle, keep our muscle tissue subtle, keep our functional capacity. But stretching is really important to try and to maintain that function as well. Now, we often talk about 5 components of fitness. We have cardiovascular endurance, we have muscular strength, we have muscular endurance, body composition, which is the ratio of muscle tissue to fat, and flexibility as well. And flexibility tends to be the one that is mainly overlooked or left to the side. But really, it's so important for maintaining our functional capacity and our ability to carry out our daily activities. Things like reaching for various items, picking things up off the ground, even getting up and down out of a chair. And if left unchecked and our joints become tight and seized over time, then these things can become very painful. So stretching is really important. And there are various types of stretching. You may have seen sporting individuals perhaps doing more dynamic type of stretching. That's not really what we're after, so we're going to focus more on static stretching, which is putting the muscle into a stretch and then holding that for probably 20 to 30 seconds if we have the time. So no bouncing and certainly no pain. So if when you're stretching you're feeling pain, you have moved too far. Listen to your body, something we tell you a lot, and just ease back a little bit. So no pain when stretching. Now, before we do that, we want to make sure we're well warmed up. So do not stretch when you're cold. Do not stretch when you've just got up out of bed in the morning and everything's a bit stiff and tight. I know that's maybe what you want to do, but try to move around a little bit. Because when we move, especially when we mobilize our joints, elbow joint, shoulder joint, for example, knees, hips, ankles, when that happens, we get a release of something called synovial fluid into the joint. Now, it's a bit like this stuff. It's like an internal GT85 or WD-40, and it helps the joint to move a little bit easier. And that's why when you've been sitting down for a little while, joints tend to get stiff. And if we do that long term, then they get very, very stiff indeed. So let's try to make sure that we mobilize the joint and we mobilize the muscle tissue before we start to stretch. Muscle's a bit like plasticine, and if you warm it up, it stretches easier, and then movements become easier for us. There's a really good piece on the Move Well class that we videoed with Katie at the 3rd component of the class. So the first one is warm up, the second one resistance, and the third one is your stretching component. And if you follow some of the stretches that Katie's done on there, you'll be in good hands. So just to recap, make sure we're well warmed up, make sure we're not in pain when we're stretching. Try to breathe slowly through the stretches as well and maintain good posture all the time. And I say hold those stretches for 20 to 30 seconds. Muscle tissue is elastic. It has elastic properties, so if you don't hold the stretch for long enough, the tissue will just return to where it was before and you won't really get much of a gain. And another time to stretch maybe that you could try to employ, instead of after exercise, after a hot bath and a hot shower. That does a similar job, not quite as good as exercise, but a similar job in terms that it warms up the muscle tissue a little bit, and it will put you in a position where you can stretch a little bit easier. So I hope you all have a good day. Again, apologies for the late message, and I will catch you tomorrow. Take care, guys, and stay safe. And just to say as well, remember, we're a week and a half in now, and sometimes the messages get a bit lost and we forget the hands. Please keep the hands clean as you possibly can, guys. See you tomorrow, hopefully on time.